Welcome to Witch Way. I'm Elise, and this is the real-world witch lore of Witch Hunter Robin. Released in 2002, this supernatural action anime ran for 26 episodes, and the English version stars the voice talents of Kari Walgren as Robin Senna, Crispin Freeman as Amon, Johnny Young Bosch as Haruto Sakaki, Dave Wittenberg as Michael Lee, Wendy Lee as Miho Karasuma, Michelle Ruff as Eureka Jojima, and Jameson Price as Takuma Zaizen. Robin has recently moved to Japan after being assigned by a secret organization to an elite tactical group who hunts down witches, those who use harmful witchcraft. She and each of these hunters have abilities of their own. The group help Robin to control her own volatile powers, but as she works to earn their trust, she starts to question if what they are doing is right. How long until her past catches up to her, and the hunters become the hunted? Craft users in this series have a variety of abilities such as clairvoyance, telekinesis, and elemental magic using wind, earth, and Robin's speciality, fire. Those who are able to use these abilities all have the witch gene, but not all who have this gene manifest abilities and are known as seeds. Those who carry the gene are monitored by the secret organization Solomon, and when they use their abilities to harm others, they are taken down by Solomon or into their service. Solomon gets their name from the legends of King Solomon, and in some stories he was said to have the ability to control demons. And you can see the magic triangle and circle from the Lesser Key of Solomon flash up in the opening and closing credits. The Lesser Key compiles Solomonic rituals in how to summon and control the 72 demons named within and what these demons can provide. This is how Solomon organization views witches, to be used to their benefit or to take them down. As the title suggests, they are at heart witch hunters. The character design of Sastre, one of Solomon's agents, is even modelled after the famous witch hunter himself, Matthew Hopkins. He self-appointed the title of Witchfinder General and was believed to be responsible for the guilty verdict of over 100 accused witches during his active years between 1644 and 1647. His likeness is depicted in the frontispiece of his book, The Discovery of Witches. In this book, he details his methods of identifying witches, and he is most well known for the method of witch pricking, where a needle was thrust into the skin of the accused, and if they did not feel any pain or it did not bleed, this was where they were marked by the devil. Johann Gieler von Kaisersberg also spoke of witches' deals with the devil, and in his collection of sermons from 1517, we see an image of witches at their Sabbath, which can also be seen in the closing credits of the series. Of course, we cannot have witch hunters without also referring to the Malleus Maleficarum, whose title page we see during the closing credits. Also known as the Hammer of Witches, this book was published in 1486 and acted as a guidebook on how to identify, interrogate, and punish accused witches. The book brands witchcraft as heresy, which in many parts of Europe at the time was punishable by burning, as we see in an image shown in the series. This image from 1685 depicts Anniken Hendricks being burned for heresy in 1571. Some sources state it was due to her being an Anabaptist, others that she was a witch. The number of those who fell victim to the witch trials is unknown, as not all trials were documented and some were unlawful, but we do hear an estimate in the series.
It has been said that several 100,000 perished during those periods. Some even say that as many as 9 million witches were burned to death.
Victims numbering 9 million was an estimate given in 1784 and has survived as a popular myth, often quoted as being fact. But the more scholarly estimate is between 40 to 60,000 people were executed between the 14th and 18th centuries, and an unknown number due to poor conditions in prison, torture, and unofficial lynchings. This witch hysteria eventually died down, though we hear of some of the last trials of note in the series. At the end of every episode, we hear a quote from Robin.
320 years have passed since the coven sank in the dark.
Deduct this from the year the anime was released, and you get the Bideford Witch Trials of 1682, where Temperance Lloyd, Mary Trembles, and Susanna Edwards were tried and found guilty of witchcraft, and a plaque commemorating them states they were the last people executed for witchcraft in England. But a witch in the series lets us know that this is not the case.
What do you know about the great witch hunts? Do you know when the last ones were? Tell me, do you know? 18th century England, the year 1717.
This was the last trial for witchcraft in England. In Leicester, 25 people testified against Jane Clark and her children, Mary and Joseph, accusing them of causing illness and even death through witchcraft. Fortunately, they were found not guilty, leaving Mary Hicks to be the last to be executed for witchcraft in England only the year prior.
France, in the year 1745.
This refers to the trial of the Wizards of Lyon. 14 people were put on trial for witchcraft and 3 were found guilty and executed. Guillaume Yanin, Jean Foresson, and finally Louis Deborah.
Germany, in the year 1775.
This one refers to the trial of Anna Maria Schwegelin, the last person to be tried for witchcraft in a German court. Though she was sentenced to death, the judgment was never carried out, and she died in prison in 1781 of apparently natural causes. A fountain now stands in Kempton commemorating her life and death.
And finally, in the year 1793 in Poland.
This final one is a little more vague. This case involved 2 unnamed women who were accused of enchanting their neighbours' cattle, after which they were found guilty of witchcraft and executed. But not much else is known about this case. Though these were the last known legal witch trials of Europe, this wasn't the end of witch hunts. People would continue to take these matters into their own hands in the form of lynch mobs. Sometimes these actions would have consequences, but other times, unfortunately, they got away with it. Even today, people are still accused of witchcraft, and this can lead to that person being outcast by their community, publicly humiliated, beaten, or even, in worse cases, murdered. So to say this is a thing of the past, you would be mistaken. But I will get back to that past. There is one witch trial in the series that I haven't mentioned yet. Can you guess?
Have you ever heard anything about a certain incident called the Salem Witch Trials?
Of course, it's the Salem Witch Trials. These infamous trials took place in 1692 and resulted in the death of 20 people. The series depicts a symbol which represents the Salem Witch Trials. This is no symbol of the trials, but from the runic alphabet known as the Elder Futhark. This rune is sometimes named as answers and could mean ash or god, and it is a god that one of the Salem witches in the series calls on.
In the name of the mages, I call on you, O Loki.
Loki is from Norse mythology, and this is the only time in the whole series that he or any of the Norse gods are mentioned. There are, however, many other runes from the Elder Futhark scattered about the series, but we also see them combined with symbols from another alphabet.
The Ring of Ogam?
Ogam was a medieval alphabet, but the way we see it arranged in the series is also known as Fion's Window and is used in neo-paganism as a form of divination. In the series, however, it's used as a trap. This was an interesting series and scores for lore and history, with the craft not referring to the practical side of things, but a witch's ability to control the world around them. This series was very slow-paced, but this was good. It was almost cozy at times, but does transition well into the action scenes. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the series, or if you use runes or Ogam in your practice. You can also let me know what witchy series you have been watching lately, as I'm always looking for something new, or any recommendations for my future witch lore reviews. If you like what I do here, you can donate via the thanks button, or you can complete your Witch Way ritual in liking this video, sharing it with anyone else you think might enjoy it, and subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you for watching here on Witch Way.